Hello and welcome to episode 248 of The Center Ring, and this is going to be the best episode ever. Not only are we back, we're back, boys and girls, from a week off, and man, what a week off does in esports for you. It's like a whole new world, and we're going to touch on most of it today. Got to wait for a little bit, though. We got e-news, a loaded e-news for you. RIP Mixer, a special clutch and kick, and a brand new segment called What the Fuck Happened? Anuj is still MIA. He had baby and is thrown in the towel, so he's just being a little baby boy. So we got Kevin from ESPN, our good friend Kevin is joining us. We'll say hi to him in a moment. But before we get to any of that, I got to tell you about Alt. Alt is your number one stop shop for the best esports apparel out there that the world has to offer. Now, I know you follow them on Twitter at Ultimate because we tell you every episode to follow Alt at Ultimate on Twitter. And if you do that, you would have seen they came out with a brand new Overwatch League drop called the Drawing Drop. I could be making up the name for that. The Doodle. That's what it is. The Overwatch League Doodle drop. It's fresh. It's fire. In fact, it's so fire they had to relaunch it. They had to make more because the initial launch sold out so damn quick. And that's what Alt brings to the table for you. That's what it does, boys and girls. They sell out quick, so you gotta get on top of it. At Ultimate on Twitter, altesports.com. Go pick yourself up an Overwatch Doodle, a hoodie, a hat, whatever you want to get. And while you're there, pick up a 101 Burglars and call yourself a day.
Hey, this is Jeff from the Overwatch team. You're here listening to The Center Ring.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another edition of The Center Ring, a.k.a. TCR, a.k.a. your favorite esports podcast. Yes, we are live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is June 23rd, 2020. The time is 8:59 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. If you're not doing so already, you would have seen all the news on why we had to take a week off, but I'll catch you up here in a moment. And our website, tcr.gg, has got all the other links, including our Discord, YouTube. Go subscribe to that. Have fun stuff coming up on that here soon enough. And that's it. That's all I got to pimp out. My name is Tim. Hello, I'm your captain for this journey into esports. Anuj is out. He is still recouping from week number 1 with a newborn. So I called into the bullpen. I got our good friend Kevin from ESPN on the show. Kevin, thank you for joining.
Anytime, Tim. I'm just here to enjoy myself, and I've got my fatherhood book ready to go. It's called Be Prepared, and it talks about all the nonsense that Anuj is probably going through right now. So, R.I.P. Anuj.
I did not do any, believe it or not.
Oh, gosh.
Hard to believe, I know. When I had my first child, I didn't pick up a book.
You gotta study, man. That's like the lay of the land for, at least in my book. You know, just study up, and then you should be an all right kid.
As someone who has a child, I can tell you there's no amount of studying that can help. None whatsoever. Now, I have nephews. I have a plethora of nephews before my own, so I kind of knew, like, I was familiar with the land at least a little bit, but yeah, nothing can prepare. It's almost like if you were like, say, a college football player and then you just got drafted into the NFL but never truly practiced. Like the game speed is always different. It's like that.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's
a good point.
It's like, yeah, I got my nephews, but I can always send them to their parents when it's too much. There's no prepping for a kid.
With yours, you got to be like, I'm stuck with you, so I guess I got to kind of figure it out. No book can tell me that.
No, definitely. And so Anuj, he did have the kid, successful, I believe Thursday, if I'm remembering this correctly now. So little Hudson Bajaj is here. So if you're on Twitter at SpiffyVR is Anuja's thing, or in Discord as well. So make sure you say congratulations to the new dad of the show. We are an official dad podcast. We're no longer the hip, cool podcast that we once were. We are dads. So
Gonna make me feel old when I have mine in October, man.
yeah, yours is
Jeez.
on the way. It's right around the corner, man.
Oh,
It's right
God.
around the corner. And Anuj is feeling it. Now Anuj knows why all those times where he's like, hey, man, let's go play WoW. I'm like, yeah, I can't. And he's like, why? I'm like, I'm just too tired. Like,
Oh, God.
and he even texted me. He was like, yeah, dude. He's like, I haven't opened up my computer all week because I'm just too tired. I'm like, yeah. Like, it turns, looking at a computer screen turns into work. So he said he needed one more day off. And I was like, all right. Let the record show I only took one show off when Shep was born.
Oh, throwing out the shade this
So,
early
but
in the game.
I am the captain of the team. You know, I got to show up to practice, rain or shine. I got to be there. So I got to set that example. But Anuj will be back for Monday's show, Sunday night. So that will happen. So and I know there's a few things that he wanted to specifically talk about. So we won't talk about those today. I think something involved Scump in the CDL, he said. Something of another. I don't know. He wanted to talk about certain things. So I was like, all right, well, we'll hold off on that. We'll let you have your time on that. But we still have a ton to get to, Kevin. Because
It's been a while.
not only did Anuj have a kid, Saturday, June 20th was my birthday.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. I am officially 30 years old. I am
Wow.
official boomer. I'm no longer a kid. That's right.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to you right
There's
now.
no
I feel like
there's really no excuses now for my immaturity. I'm past that point. I'm an adult and I need to act like it.
I mean, I'm looking at the shirt you're wearing right now. It's the Star Wars shirt. I mean, it's a little too young for you.
Yeah,
You know?
it's time, I gotta maybe clean up the Blizzard poster and my Warhammer figurines behind me. Maybe it's time to get a nice bookshelf in the background.
Oh, may sound old already. Holy
Yeah.
moly! Is your bones turning to dust like the second right now, or are you still like kind of holding yourself up?
Oh
just
no,
barely?
yeah. I mean, I've had years of out of shapeness to get me ready for that.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
this body already started breaking down long before the age of 30. And then Sunday was Father's Day. So it was the first year that I was actually a father for Father's Day. So there's
Nice.
that. And that was weird because it's like, all right, well, it's my day. I should just be on my computer playing games all day. But at the
Nope.
same time, you feel a tad guilty for doing that because it's like, oh, it's Father's Day. Like, I should be with my child. So I dealt with that dilemma. But throughout all that, I really didn't look too much at esports for like a good couple days. I had CDL Paris on in the background, but for the most part, I was like, well, I know we're not doing the show. Sunday night, I recorded a very top secret show without Anuj. That will be out, I think, sometime next week. It's time sensitive stuff though, so we can't just post it all willy nilly. And man, you take 1 week off of esports, not even like just like 4 days. It's like the whole esports world was crumbling without me.
Whoa.
Like, did it feel like that way happening live? Like I turn on Twitter and it's just, I see Me Too has moved in. I see like racist accusations going on. Mixer's dead. It's like, what happened?
It
Like-
definitely kind of crept on us. I will say that Sunday show happened, and it was like, cool, I'm good to go, right? Nothing big. CDL Paris, it's all good. And then by last night, I was like, what in the world is going on?
Like, I almost feel like I need to do 2 episodes just today to make up for all the news that dropped and all the drama that's happened. It's insane. So, that being said, let's start with everyone's favorite, Clutch or Kick. Okay, and then we'll get into my brand new segment called What the Fuck Happened, which might be reoccurring every time we take a little break and then come back and everything's blown up. And then we'll discuss some Mixer drama.
Perfect.
All right, so first on Clutch or Kick. This was actually brought up in our Discord by a listener, and he asks, the question, or he made the observation, I should say, that Valorant is only having like 50,000 viewers on Twitch. I've even seen it dip down, into the high 30s, low 40s, things like that. Was the game overhyped? I'll let you go first.
All right, I'll say this. We can look back to the trend lines for Apex Legends because they had the same kind of launch. It was a huge month-long blow up where anybody who was streaming Apex Legends. And then about the 3-month mark, it tapered off and it just kind of fell to what is like 20,000 viewers right now live on Twitch as we speak. Valorant, I think, is following that same trend line where it's a inflated, a balloon kind of sense of viewership because everybody's playing it. So of course you're going to have everybody viewing it. Why not, right? And then as time went on, the big name streamers kind of fell down and nobody really wanted to watch too much anymore, and the game was still in beta. And I mean, honestly, the 1.0 release was that a big deal for you? Because that really wasn't a big deal for me personally.
We talked about on the show that it felt so random. Like the timing of it was just like, hey, I am not mentally there yet for you. Like I was excited for beta. I was not mentally ready to like take this game serious yet. And even now you see a lot of updates for it. But no, like the 1.0 release was kind of it was kind of a quiet release, to be honest with you. And that's because I don't think they let people have that build up, right? Like that excitement was so high. So for yours, would you say it's a clutch? Are you clutching that it was overhyped?
Yeah, I'll clutch it was overhyped because I think most esport titles nowadays that come out with like a huge month wide or release that everybody's playing and then tapers off, it's always going to be super overhyped. That's just the nature of the internet and of gamers in general. We're always going to overhype everything, just like we're overhyping the crap out of Last of Us 2 for being a quote unquote awful ending, which I don't really get it. It's a story game. If you don't like the story, the plot, the direction it takes, it's whatever. But in this case, it's more like Valorant is just they overinflated their own numbers and now they're kind of falling to a normal trend line. That's how it works.
Now I will kick this because I don't think it was overhyped. I think at least for me and anyone that I think followed like the esports side of it, okay, I felt like it was very appropriately hyped and it's exactly what I thought was going to happen. First off, in beta, they did that bullshit where you had to watch to get a beta key. Yep. So, of course, that's going to inflate the numbers. Numbers were inflated. That doesn't mean it was overhyped. There's that. And you had bots galore, right? Like, Summit was getting, 200,000 views? Those weren't actual views, and he knew it, right? Like, he even said, like, yeah, this is definitely a view bot. You had those channels that came out of the woodworks to do the 24/7 VOD streams, right? Which were pulling in 50+ thousand viewers. Again, 99% of them bots. Okay. So that to me, though, it wasn't overhyping the game. It was inflating the viewership numbers, sure. And that's what people are looking at, saying, whoa, the viewership dropped. Well, like you said, that's any game. Right? Any game that's fresh and new is going to get that because you are going to get every streamer trying it. But when it comes down to it, Valorant is a competitive game. There is no casual mode for that. Just like Counter-Strike. You're not going to get a casual Counter-Strike streamer. I don't think you're going to see a top-tier Counter-Strike streamer and all they do is like surf, right? Or do like custom maps that aren't competitive. They're going to do the 5-on-5. They're going to do the traditional competitive mode. And that's just because that's how those games work. And big streamers don't play that. They play the BR games where they can dick around in and some of them have fun. I don't know how you have fun on a BR game, but it's possible, I guess, when you make a couple thousand every stream, I guess I'd have fun too. So that's why I don't think Valorant was overhyped. Maybe the expectations were skewed from some people when you saw the viewership numbers, but to me, this is exactly where where I thought it would be at the start. Also, you don't have any matches going on right now, right? Look at Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike on Twitch, I'm not saying it's a dead viewership, but it doesn't like have the norm. Like right now we looked before we went live and it's got like 100-something thousand viewers, right? Well, yeah,
160.
because you got like Beyond the Summit going on right now and MIBR's playing. So you have half of Brazil watching them. So that the matches, flex those numbers a lot. Now that we're seeing more and more, kind of tournaments and things pop up for Valorant, I think you're going to see the numbers jump up a little bit. Now, is it going to be like top dog? No, I'm not saying that, but does it have to be to reach its potential? I don't think so. So I just think it's not overhyped. I would say the expectations are a little skewed at the moment. I think people were expecting for it to carry on what the beta was doing when they don't realize that the beta was all a bunch of false numbers.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I agree with the point that once we start getting more, competitions and actual esports leagues set up around Valorant, we'll see those numbers, kind of reapproach the beta numbers. But we're never ever going to see that again. Those beta numbers are so inflated, and I think I agree with you. It's a set of expectations, and not exactly because the game was overhyped itself.
Yeah,
that's
the
a good
game
point
is what I mean. The game's exactly what you thought it was going to be. It's a 5-on-5 tactical shooter. It's exactly what you thought it was going to be. Those games just aren't that entertaining to watch from a casual viewer standpoint because it's literally pretty much the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? There's a reason Hiko, who is probably like one of the top consistent Valorant streamers, I think still only rocks around like 6,000, and that's a lot for him on the viewership side of it. So compared to someone who plays a BR game, and I mean, hell, even like the 10th highest person on Fortnite has like 10,000 viewers. So I just think it's the way it works. Also, people got to understand this too. Valorant is a PC only game.
Yep.
So when you're comparing it to games like Call of Duty, which is 99% Warzone streams, right? They're not even playing the actual Call of Duty game itself. It's Warzone. Fortnite, all these other games, they're console. They're free to play on console, which is going to help. League of Legends is a beast of its own, but again, mostly because they constantly have some type of match going on. So it is what it is. Dota has low viewership numbers if there's no matches going on. Is Dota a dead game? Is that an overhyped game? No, it's just look, it's a double-edged sword when you're an esport, right? I want to watch pros play. I don't want to watch a casual streamer. That's kind of what it boils down to.
Pretty much. We find entertainment value from people that are better than us. That's for sports, that's for esports, and that goes for, Twitch right now.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm watching someone on Twitch, I want to be entertained. Typically, a pro player is not that entertaining. Unless they're just like godlike skills, their personality is not that great. All right. So let's get into the second one here. This brings us into the Call of Duty League world. We talked a little bit about this last episode, and we talked a little bit about it the episode before. So we said, Anuj and I said, whoever won Seattle, I think it was Seattle,
yeah,
would then be the number one team in the league. That was under the assumption that FaZe, Chicago, or Dallas was going to win. So then when
I think it was Minnesota. Everyone Minnesota would be the
that's right. Okay. Yep. Minnesota. I lied. Minnesota, whoever won Minnesota would be the best team. But then Florida ruined that and they won. And we were like, whoa. Florida is not the best team. We lied, not the case. And then Paris happened and they ended up winning again. So now same results, beating FaZe in the finals, back to back. I believe that makes them the first 3-time champion.
Yep. As of right now. They also took the same exact steps from Minnesota, beat Empire in the semis, beat FaZe in the finals. So they beat arguably the top, 1 and 2, 2 and 3 teams in the CDL in back-to-back home series, which is, are they for real?
So I'll take this one first.
Go for it.
And I will clutch it that they are the number one team at this very moment of recording this podcast. Because I feel like that number one spot for CDL, I think you could probably give that to maybe, for sure, 2 teams, maybe 3. But right now, it's hard to go bet against Florida. I think Atlanta has shown that, I mean, they are beatable. And don't get me wrong, Atlanta is phenomenal. They are the ones that could be number one. But my God, Kevin.
3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
How many times can you go 3-2 and eventually you're going to have to lose? Like, you can't constantly get to game 5 every single time. Like, that's just not sustainable. Eventually you're going to lose. Now, unfortunately for them, it happens in the finals every time against Florida. But, I mean, I would almost like everyone wants consistency, not 3-2 consistency. Especially when earlier in the year you were dominating, right? Like, that's where that kind of shows off. It's almost like a 3-2. Like, yeah, you make it to the finals, but that's a shaky march to the finals. Shaky.
I don't know if I would call you the best team if you went 3-2 throughout the entire tournament. It's just like, I mean, did you really,
You squeaked
demolish
by.
everybody?
Impressive. You had impressive moments. Like, yeah, you have, composure, right? That you can come back and have reverse sweeps here and there. But, right now, FaZe does sit top number 1 in the league just from a sheer point value. But, man, I do think you got to give it to Florida for being number 1 at the moment.
I think I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna clutch this because, well, after Minnesota, we're all like, all right, like that's a fluke. Like, no way, Florida trades off Pristini and like one of their best players, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna totally defeat Minnesota. If you told me that the week before, I would have been like, there's no way. There's no way. There's just it's literally impossible. Defeat FaZe 3-1 in that final, moving to Paris, and I was like, all right, Empire, FaZe, let's go for this final one last time, right? I mean, FaZe beats Dallas in that semifinal, and then literally it's just like 3-0 FaZe, not even 3-2 FaZe, which is like arguably how FaZe loves their games, squeaking by the edge of their teeth. But 3-0 FaZe at the end of that, I was just thinking, they could be for real. I don't see any reason why not. They've given me no reason to believe that they're not for real. And it's just, I mean, what can you say about them, Tim, other than, yeah, these guys are legitimately probably the hottest contender going into the next home series.
And I think they actually have like a month off, which I know we actually did like the press conference today. And so I talked to some of the Florida boys, and they were saying that, they're looking forward for the break because after winning back-to-back, it kind of lets the nerves cool a little bit, right? Like, you win one, right, you can carry the momentum. You win 2 in a row, now it's in your head a little bit.
Yep.
Not saying like you always want to win 2, right? You got to win as many as you can. But if you're, a good time to take that break. So now I think they're off until maybe Toronto. They might be playing in London.
They come back to London July 17th.
All right, so they have New York. They skipped New York. You have the All-Star break, and then they're in the London weekend. And even looking at London, you have Dallas.
That's pretty much the biggest name there, right?
I mean, that's it, right? You have Dallas, Florida, London, of course, the Gorillas, New York Gaming, New York, and then Optic Gaming, Paris, and Seattle. Like, you're almost looking at there. So, like, they could win 3 events that they attend in a row.
All
or
before
4.
the playoffs.
I guess it would be 4. No,
yeah,
3. It's their 4th, but third in a row for them. I mean, that's easy. That's easily accomplished, I think, with how their schedule is lined up. So, almost playoff time. They've definitely hit a good streak here going into it being hot. But, yeah, I think it's safe to say Florida at the moment is your number 1 team in the Call of Duty League.
I mean, I have no arguments against it. I agree with you right now. In terms of standings, I don't think FaZe is the best team in the league right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think, who said it best? I think it was Ron Washington who said it best. Like, it's not about the best team throughout the season. It's about the best team on that day. And today's day is Florida's day. So what can you
I just think you saw two weekends where FaZe looked a little too shaky for me.
Yeah.
Like you can't like yes, it's cool that you can reverse sweep, but you had to reverse sweep. Like
Seattle.
yeah, exactly. You still had to do that. So against subpar teams that you probably should have 3-0'd. So no, I can't give that to you. Dallas, I still feel like is better than Chicago. I feel like
Yes.
Dallas is, again, just unfortunately getting up against some of the better teams early on in brackets and stuff like that. So they're out a little earlier. I mean, they've lost to Florida 2 events in a row, who, of course, we mentioned eventually went on to win those events.
Yep, and they've lost to FaZe, I think, 3 times this season, 4 times this season
Yep.
at this point?
And then I think, yeah, they just can't. I mean, they can't beat FaZe. And then Chicago, I think is a tad. I think they started hot, and I think they're in their heads at this point. So I'm not a believer in Chicago at this point to be a top contending team anymore.
I'd agree with you. That's pretty much, I mean, if I could redo my power rankings, just going off this top 3 would be Florida, FaZe, Dallas.
Yeah, I mean that's how my top 3 would look as well. So there we go. We both had Florida number 1 at the moment. Last but not least for Clutch or Kick. Now this comes from the Overwatch League. Now I don't know if you saw this, but they recently announced their MVP skin as they started doing for the MVPs of the league for the previous season. They'll get with them and design a skin. You had, who was it? Jonak with the Zenyatta skin, the squid skin. Wasn't that Jonak?
Jay Jonak, I think so. Yeah.
Yep. So that was the previous year. Now, of course, this year kind of puts him in a conundrum because the MVP was, of course, Sinatraa from the Shock.
Boy.
And as we all know, doesn't play Overwatch anymore. He retired mid-season. He went out for a pack of smokes and never came back, and signed with Sentinels for their Valorant roster. So they released the skin over the weekend. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Kevin. I
Skin's
thought
pretty cool.
I thought it was, yeah. I mean, first off, it is. I think it's a cool looking skin. It's whatever. If you still play Overwatch, it's cool. I was a Zarya main back in the day, so I probably would have picked it up, but not anymore. I thought they handled it as well as you could. Now, it did get some backlash because some announcements, some articles, some tweets didn't include Sinatraa in the tweet. They call it the MVP skin, not Sinatra's MVP skin or whatever, right?
It's a weird titling because even if you look on YouTube, Overwatch League's video announcement of it, it's it's titled Sinatra's 2019 MVP skin, and then in the video itself it says 2019 MVP skin.
Yeah, exactly. And so this got some backlash, especially from guys like Richard Lewis, who just love to kick the Overwatch League in the nuts. Like that, those group of guys love nothing more than to kick them in the nuts and have fun with it. So that jumped everyone on, saying Blizzard is just so disrespectful for Sinatraa. They need to honor their past players, blah, 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 blah. So I guess the Clutch or Kick here, did the Overwatch League do them dirty with how they handled it? Now, I'm going to kick this to the moon because I thought they handled it as I would expect and probably the same way. In fact, they probably handled it better than I would because I'm, spiteful like that. But I mean, the guy left your game mid-season to go play another game. The fact that they were releasing it, and they did include him, that's the thing, right? Is Richard Lewis picked one tweet that didn't say his name on it. I looked, I pulled it. They have 3 other tweets in between that one that he pulled that didn't say his name and tagged Sinatraa. Sinatra's in the release video. It is hard to not include Sinatraa in this, and they did. Now, are they gonna... The thing is they're advertising the skin, right? They're not advertising Sinatraa, and I think that's what kind of Blizzard's mindset was. So they were like, look, we do have to tone it back a little bit. Let's not spend money advertising Sinatraa here. And I don't blame him. The guy left your league, right? He was the poster boy of your league.
Your MVP.
Your MVP. The league definitely sent him to talk shows. They sent him to radio shows. Yeah, everywhere. And then he left. So, you know what? Is Blizzard a little bitter? I'm sure they are. So do they have to include his smiling face on every single post about the skin?
Not at all.
Not at all. I don't see, like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Like, but let's not act like this is something like deep rooted that hurts your feelings that they didn't tag him in a post.
It's overblown, completely overblown. And for Richard Lewis, quote unquote, esport journalist, to kind of pick and choose these tweets, yeah, like you said, kick this to Saturn, all the way out there to the outer planets of the solar system, because it's nonsense. That's what it is. I mean, you could make the argument that they should really lean more on Sinatraa, but the guy doesn't play your game anymore. There's no point to it. Why would you lean on somebody who's not there? I mean, what, 1-2 seasons of Sinatraa is all you got? And for a league this young, it's not going to hurt him in the long run. I guarantee it. Nobody's going to remember this in like 3 months tops. Like, Blizzard just did Sinatraa dirty for some reason. How dare? No, it's going to be like
said,
oh, cool.
I love Richard Lewis. Super nice guy. If you ever meet him in real life, he's not the Twitter bully that he might come across to be. He's super chill, super fun.
For sure.
This particular moment, though, he's a tad biased towards the Overwatch League. Just a smidge biased towards his opinion when it comes to the Overwatch League. And I felt like this was one of them where I was like, I mean, he's like come on. He abandoned you. I said it was almost like when they made the announcement, it felt like say you had a girlfriend and you ordered her flowers, and then and then you broke up but forgot you ordered her flowers, and then the flowers showed up to her house but you were already broken up, and it had like the nice message of, hey babe, love you so much, thanks for being the best. Oof. That's what it felt like. Like, it's a nice gesture, but it just doesn't mean as much. And that's exactly what releasing this skin felt like. It's a nice gesture. You have to do it, considering that the wheels were turning before Sinatraa left.
Yep.
But I definitely understand where Overwatch League comes from and being like, yeah, let's not pump his tires too much here. So I get it. I 100% get it.
This is one of the rare times where we're actually on Blizzard's side of things, which is...
This is also true. Like, you can't, like, come on here and be like, oh, well, you're just Overwatch League homer. No. Like, Overwatch League and Blizzard has, like, a home on Yikes of the Week. They are constantly in that set. We are constantly making fun of something that they did. So, yeah, we are definitely not Overwatch League homers or anything by any means, but I'm also not going to grab my torch and pitchfork just because they didn't tag him in a couple of posts, or they didn't put his name as Sinatra's MVP skin and they just put MVP skin.
Yeah.
Like, they broke up. That's what happened. They broke up. Not even. They didn't break up. Blizzard got dumped. Sinatraa dumped them. So, yes, of course they're going to be a little biased and bitter towards it. Of course they are. That's just life. That's how it works out. All right. So, there's that. All right, let's get into what the fuck happened, as I have a couple topics here, Kevin, as you can indulge me here. Now, from the Counter-Strike side, I open up Twitter. It's blowing up. Now, you got Summit going on right now. First off, Complexity ended up winning the EU side of Blast. Congratulations, Complexity. Jason Lake, you know, how long ago did he tweet that out where he pretty much threw his old roster on the bus and then he just big dick played the entire scene and said,
about a year ago.
Here's my checkbook. Fill it out whatever you want, and we'll go win. And sure enough, it worked out this weekend. Now, I'm not saying Complexity is a top tier team. I'm not saying they're going to go and win everything. In fact, I think they lost today to like a subpar team. Like it's just, I don't know the team off the top of my head, but they ended up losing today at Blast or at Summit. But for this one weekend, Complexity and Jason Lake look like a bunch of geniuses. So, insane. So I'm happy for them. Not very often does the big dick play precursor work out, but sure enough, it did. And now, keeping it with CSGO, MIBR.
Oh boy.
What are they doing? it is like every time I open up Twitter, the Brazilian scene for CSGO, specifically MIBR, is just doing something not good. So at first I saw like all these cheating accusations and death threats going on, and no one was including names and no one wanted to tag anyone in it. So I had to do my own research. It was a lot of work. I ended up finally finding it. So apparently in their match against Chaos, which Chaos won, by the way, so that never helps. Like if Chaos lost, would this ever be a thing? Probably not. But so Chaos wins and they're down Steel. So it's like they're even like triple underdog at this point. Well, MIBR accuses Leaf on Chaos Esports of cheating. Well, now your issue here, like what's, like, hey, people get accused of cheating all the time. First off, not by MIBR. Like I feel like, Kevin, I don't know how familiar you are with MIBR's status in CS, but
I have them decently, they're Brazilian brothers. That's all I have to say.
When you are at their level, right? Like Fallen, Taco, for all these guys here. I mean, these are legends in the scene. These are guys that rookie players like Leaf, who's 16 years old,
young boy,
look up to. Like this kid is probably like pissing his pants that he's playing against Fallen, right? Like he's like, I cannot believe I'm going up against my idols right now. This is nuts. Oh, and I'm winning. And then afterwards, he opens up his Twitter and sees his DM full of death threats from the Brazilian scene because he's been accused of cheating by MIBR.
I mean, it's like your idol in the NBA. If you're a young Kevin Durant up against a LeBron James, all of a sudden your idol is trashing you on the court. This takes a whole nother level. This is accusations of cheating. Like
from that top though, I get it if you're like in the Mountain Dew League or if you're an up and coming team and you want to throw that out there, you want to throw that accusation out there. But like Fallen, he's been accused of hacking before.
Yeah.
Recently, like within the last 5 years recent. So he kind of knows how that feels. We've seen this before in the CSGO side with Rops being accused by JW of cheating. I mean, it's just, it doesn't go lightly. And to make matters worse, we all know the Brazilian fan base is batshit crazy. Like, they're not going to take it chill. And, of course, they do the whole, I don't want to accuse anyone of cheating.
I'm not going to say cheating.
I'm not going to say those words, Kevin. I am not going to say Leaf is cheating. What I am going to say, though, is look at this clip. Not saying he's cheating, but just look at it.
I really would wish to just be more transparent about it and just say, you know what? This guy's cheating. That way when they're wrong, we can call them out for their bullshit and actually show them like, I think you're just picking and choosing a certain clip there, bud.
And you know what? Maybe Leaf is cheating. Who knows, right? The clips that I saw, I mean, yeah, sure. There were moments where it seemed suspect. But I say that about like 90% of the plays pros make. So who am I to look at a pro player and being like, oh, that looked weird. Like, yeah, they're snapping heads left and right. Of course it looks weird to me. Like, I don't, these guys are nuts. They take it to a whole new level. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll come out that he cheats. Who knows?
I feel like Fallen's tweet was just like, I don't like to accuse anyone of cheating without evidence. They've done this to me in the past, and it can be a great injustice. Let's wait for the championship to find out just what we can do. I found the uploaded clip suspicious. Yes. So are you saying he's cheating or not cheating?
That was the common theme for everyone is I don't want to say he's cheating, but look at these clips.
Like, Fallen, dude, come on. Just he's 16 years old. Have some knowledge of your fan
there's ways
base
to do this,
opponents.
right? I think you go to the admins and say, hey, can you look at his computer? Can you look at these clips? Don't post it on Twitter before, you get the judge, jury, and executioner of the Brazilian fan base behind it.
I mean, speaking of Brazilian fan base, wasn't there like a back and forth with them with Furia too? So they were all over each other, already riled up from that.
Yeah. And
then Fallen, he let's be honest, you should really know your fan base by now if you are riling up your own Brazilian, brothers with you. It's just I hate to see it for a 16-year-old. I think who was on the other team was like 19 years old too. Young sub 20 guys, teenagers. These guys are teenagers,
Yeah.
and they're getting death threats in like probably 3 different languages because it's Brazil, and it's just it's rough.
It's like I
hate
said, it's just, maybe he's cheating, maybe he's not. But there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it, and blasting him on Twitter for it, makes you just look like a sore loser, right?
Yep.
Makes MIBR look, especially when it's MIBR who haven't been playing that well, right? They're not
Exactly.
what they used to be, so it just makes them look bad. And let's not forget the other clip of MIBR where it shows their coach sitting in the background with the stream on his computer. So now everyone's saying that you're the cheaters. Like, you guys are the ones cheating. Why does your coach have the stream on in the background?
I mean, come on. Let's face it really quick. Even if somebody was accused of cheating, even if they did cheat, does that mean they deserve death threats?
No.
Exactly. That should be right there. Boom.
And
Point.
maybe you can do like a cutoff. Like if you're like 30 and you can handle a couple death threats,
I'll throw 1 or 2 your way.
yeah, I'll give you one. I'll give you 1 or 2. As a 16-year-old, no.
That should be 0 right there.
Let's pump the brakes there. That's where I think you can wait a little bit. So that's kind of how I feel with that. And at the same time, with your coach getting busted for supposedly stream sniping, and when Steele asks about him or calls him out, they respond to Steele saying how they're not going to listen to someone who match fixes. So you're going to bring up something that happened like 6 years ago to combat the reason why you had the stream up?
The deflection is insane, dude.
Like-
it's esports tier deflection. That's what it is. Like, let me just bring up this thing from like 2 years ago. What you did? No, come on.
It's a mess. MIBR is an absolute mess, and I would love to be a fly on that wall then just to see what's going on, because it's turned into a shit show real quick, and I don't think Fallen is going to get himself out of this one.
No, sir. It's
One
impossible
last thing from the CSGO side, I forgot to put in the notes, but one last thing is this Astralis situation. So, of course, a lot of the players ended up taking a leave of absence, or not a lot, but 2 of the players ended up taking a leave of absence. It's getting thrown around like, oh, something must be going on. Something must be up. So Anuj and I even talked about it on the show, saying it's probably nothing. Like, these guys are probably tired, and they just want to take a break. Like, that's probably all it is. Not a big deal. And so, again, you had a lot of journalists, a lot of esports people making articles that I thought kind of made it a bigger deal than what it was, saying how the team, as in Astralis, the ownership group, was basically running these players ragged and not letting them take breaks through loopholes and whatnot here. And so then the players, I guess in Denmark, there's a rule where if you have a doctor's note, like it's like a get out of jail free card, like they have to honor that note. It doesn't matter. And so that's what like Zipnix and Glaive ended up doing.
Yeah.
Well, and they were trying to say like, see, we knew something was up. That's like the oldest trick in the book, boys. Like you bring a doctor's note to work and you get out.
You're good.
You bring a little pink slip, to your teacher in high school, and she lets you out. Like that's just how it works. To me, that's again, like, not that big a deal. Like, of course the team is getting ran dry. We all knew that. Every esports professional is getting ran dry. That's just an issue with the scene in general.
I mean, that's why esports stars have such short lifespans, I guess, or careers. Not lifespans. I'm not saying anybody's dying out there, but pretty much this is why their careers are like, what, 5 years at most for a decent top tier player?
It's just, so I don't know. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, like it's a news, but it's not like groundbreaking. It wasn't shocking to see like, hey, the team wasn't letting the players off, and this is why they need more people. Like, yeah, no, I think I read through between the lines the entire time on that one. Like, I thought that's what we all knew was going on.
Yeah,
But
like we know they're playing, 16 hours a day. We know they're
yeah.
driving through the night to get to tournaments on, we know all this. Like this isn't news. Now I think the main issue, I've said this on my show on ESPN Dallas, I've said a players union for esports is eventually going to come down the line because
A real
these
players union.
a real, not a
They have them.
players union.
They have them, but they're more like player suggestions.
Exactly. They're like guidelines. Nobody really follows them.
Yeah.
At,
No.
at some point, it's going to come to a head, and players will learn that they have some leverage when it comes to this. But for right now, in the infancy of player unions and esports, they just got to take it on the chin on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Just one of those things. Last but not least, and what the fuck happened, and this is a big one. I did not have on my bingo card
Uh-oh.
that the Me Too movement was going to make a comeback, and I did not definitely have it on my bingo card that it was going to hit the esports / gaming / streaming world as hard as it did. Like, what the hell happened, Kevin?
So
I open up Twitter and
break
it's
that
like
down.
half of Twitch is no longer there.
Yeah. So who was it? It was Henry G is one.
Well, yeah. So I mean, the one I know off the top of my head that I followed was Henry G, which of course is a caster in the CS:GO world. For those who don't know, and that's another that's a mess because Henry G came out and made a statement saying that no, my ex-girlfriend is batshit. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said she's batshit crazy. This is what happened. And no, it was not sexual assault, and we've even talked about it since then. Here are some DMs to prove it. And now she's saying, well, no, he's still lying. That's not what exactly happened. This is again what happened, and
Man,
it's just a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, and at this point, just like, dude, shut up and either take her to court, but stop putting it out in public at this point. It is either at best making you look all right, and at worst, it's definitely hurting you, making you look more crazier by the minute. And so at this point, just stop talking.
So I'm on the fence. Because I do feel for him. Because if I was in his shoes and you truly believe that what happened was consensual and whatever, right? I get why he's like, I have to go on social media to defend myself because she brought it to social media, right? Like she kind of was the one who opened the door because it's hard to like, if someone's going to call you out on Twitter and being like, you raped me. It's difficult, like, if I just stayed quiet in the DMs, right?
Mhm.
Because that makes you look pretty guilty. Like, let's be real. That's just, is it fair? No, but that's how life goes. So I get that. I think my thing with this whole thing, like this whole reboot now of, you had what? Say No to Rage? No Rage? What's that streamer's name? I think it was Say No to Rage, like the popular, like apparently like half the Destiny streamers are like rapists and sexual offenders. Like it's crazy. Look, there were so many Destiny streamers that got busted. Destiny and Bungie actually had to make a statement. The game developers had to make a statement because so many people in their communities got accused of sexual assault. That is nuts. That is insane.
Yeah.
Like, we go from 1 week talking about how we're all, racist and we need to fix this to, my God, half of us are sexual offenders now.
It's pretty bad. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have the Dota 2 caster, Grant, I believe his name is Grant, whatever.
Sure.
On Twitter he goes. But basically, that it goes into a whole other issue where he apparently sexually assaulted somebody and roofied them. And it just spun off into him apologizing somehow for it. And I'm like, this is insane. You basically admitted to it. And anybody who's arguing for you is now they can't even hold a candle to you now. Like
it's a very difficult situation for everyone because from an outsider looking into all of this, right? Like Like I've been with my wife now for over 10 years. Okay. We've been married for 4 years. This year will be 4 years. My God.
Nice.
Like I don't know what it's like talking to other women if I wanted to. Right.
Right.
So it's like I'm definitely from as far as outside looking into all this as you possibly could. And for me, I just feel like with the way social media works and how we saw with the protesting and the riots and everything going on and all the misinformation that gets spread out, and you want to believe the victims. I think that's your initial reaction. But I think just from even being like in media, right? Like working in radio for as long as I have. You always want to believe them, right? I think it's safe to say you believe both and wait till the dust settles.
Right.
Like if I'm just being mature about it, I think you'll listen to both. And that's the important thing. You listen. You don't have to believe any of them because I'm sure both of them are lying to an extent, right? There's two sides to every story. The chick says she was sexually assaulted. The guy says it was just a bad attempt of hitting on her or whatever. Or like I thought I had consent and apparently I didn't, right? So it can go both ways. You just got to wait till the dust settles because let's be real, like this is dangerous with how social media is now because you have these big time influencers with thousands followers. I mean, a career, a life could be ended over accusations that, do you know are true?
Yeah. I mean, we're on iffy ground from a legal standpoint now for a lot of these people because if for whatever reason a victim story comes out that it's wrong or at this point a lot of it's been anonymous and like I heard from so and so that this happened, you're putting yourself up for slander if you do that. And then there's going to be legal investigations into that. And so you have to get police involved. And it's just like a whole rigmarole. It's just like could you have just like maybe tried not being a jerk? Or could you have tried maybe not lying about other people's reputation just to get them out of their job? Because
now if there was like true sexual assault, then like absolutely
for sure,
fuck
100%.
them, right? Like let's make that clear. If there was for real sexual assault in any type of fashion, like your boy in Dota, like if you're roofing people, bro, there's no apology that's gonna work on this one. Like you're done. You're out of here.
And by the way, the apology was the most half-assed apology.
Of course it was.
Blamed his alcoholism. His past self. In the past.
Look, Say No to Rage apology had his wife in the video.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh my God, that's so bad.
You can't get a better apology than having your wife sit next to you. So like, it's just... Look, all I'm saying is there's so much like misinformation left and right. I'm not saying anyone is lying, right? There's truth, I think, in every statement. I'm just more of a, hey, I'm going to chill. I'm going to let the dust settle. And then I'll throw stones at like wherever they deserve to be thrown.
Yeah, like for now, like really there's three sides to a story. There's like the victim, the accused, and the truth. And it's if we all sit back and stay quiet and just let it all play out, the truth at some point will come out and we'll.
But Twitter doesn't allow for that. Twitter wants answers and they want justice yesterday.
And we're gonna cancel this guy right now.
Yeah.
We should have canceled him 2 years ago.
Let's forget. And even when the truth comes out, half the Twitter people don't even care because they don't even see it because they just cared about the first initial outrage, and it's a mess. It's truly a mess. And like I said, just like I said with the whole racism in gaming and everything like that, and this now we have this whole sexual assault thing. I do think there's a large population of gamers that are trash people, but I think that's just in general. I think there's a large population of just trashy people. I think streamers are probably god tier when it comes to the most egotistical group of people.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're telling me that a streamer thinks he's hot shit and can get anyone he likes and sexually assaults someone, that's probably the least shocking statement I think I would hear.
Yeah,
Like,
no, for sure.
whether you have 20,000 people watching you or 200 people watching you, in your brain, you are the king of that arena, right?
Yep.
Like, you know that 200 people are watching you for you. So I get it. I get that mental thing where you just think you are the shit. So then when you go to TwitchCon, you're like, yeah, what's up? But that doesn't give you the right to sexually assault anyone, guy or girl.
Exactly. On top of that, speaking of TwitchCon, I mean, you've been to some of these like after parties and stuff like that where you see all these content creators, the hot shit guys. You see how they act, and it's just like, all right, so that guy's definitely creepy. That girl's not even worried about that guy for one reason, and she really should be. And it's just like it's a just weird spaghetti like rat's nest of just awful people in general. I'm gonna be honest with you. These parties are often not the greatest places to be at if
No.
you're a single female or a single guy, even sometimes depending on the people you hang out
I
with.
mean, yeah, you've seen stories. I mean, I've seen stories where guys are saying, yeah, I was sexually assaulted by this, chick streamer who came up to me and groped me or whatever. So it goes both ways. It's not one way or the other. Like I said, it's just, I don't know. I will say the same thing when it comes to the racism side of it and the Black Lives Matter and everything. I think the most important thing any of us can do at this moment is to just listen.
Yep.
Just listen. And then take it in and use that to your best judgment. So that's 30-year-old Tim talking. 29-year-old Tim would have been super immature about this. But 30-year-old me,
right?
I'm an adult now. So that's just how it goes. That's just how
wisdom.
It works.
That's that wisdom gene kicking in once you turn the big 3-0.
It really is. It really is. I'm just so old and wise now, Kevin. It's not even funny.
I mean, I expect you fully by next week to start actually, making your own canoe out of wood, out of a single block of tree, just carving up a canoe.
You never know. It could happen. Let's get into our last topic, though.
Hit me.
This came out of completely left field. This was a fascinating story to follow. I think it was, my God, was this yesterday? Sunday?
The Mixer news? Yeah.
When was Mixer? That was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It's been a long week.
It really, I mean, it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's only Tuesday. Like, we are done. We are done. So this all started again. What an emotional roller coaster. It comes out that like, I might be getting some of this wrong, so forgive me, but someone at Microsoft or someone at Mixer, like a manager or an exec, said something racist. Am I right? Am I following this correctly?
Pretty much.
All right. So they said something, I think it was comparing the employees to slaves.
Yep.
Which...
not a good look.
I've been in a lot of business meetings in my life. That's never been part of the hoorah speech. not a thing you want to say. And
yeah.
And so now it's come out, like, a lot of the streamers for Mixer, like all 10 of them, were saying, like, hey, we need a boycott. Boycott Mixer until Microsoft fires this person and fixes everything.
Well, Microsoft did one better.
Yeah. Microsoft was like, I'll do you one better. We're not going to say shit about this, and we're just going to get rid of all of you. So now Mixer is RIP'd. It is now joining Facebook, for all of you who don't know.
Facebook Gaming.
Yeah, so now God. Mixer is merging with Facebook Gaming, and the world is ending over there. So, the racist stuff and all that, that's one thing. We don't need to talk about that. We all know what is right and what is wrong. That was definitely wrong. Microsoft, I don't even know if they did anything with the person, but... who knows? I don't really care. I'm more interested in as far as the absolute shit show that this has been for some people on the Mixer side of it. Now, oddly enough, it seems to me that the only people in the world that didn't know Mixer was a dying platform were streamers on mixers.
I mean, could you blame them? They're seeing record numbers every day, record low numbers, that is. It's not a very popular streaming website. Even I think Ninja had like 6,000 viewers at one point.
Like you had some, I see all these videos of like people on Mixer just crying because they don't have anywhere to go now, which is not true. You do have places to go. In fact, they just said it. You're going to Facebook Gaming. You could go to Twitch. Like you could go to YouTube. You could go to any of the other number. Listen, if your community is willing to go to Mixer to watch you, they'll go to YouTube. They'll go to Twitch. I understand Facebook because a lot of people just don't like Facebook for obvious reasons. But like, it's not the end of the world. Like people were acting like the streaming world just lost one of the greats.
No, we're not losing anything. Streaming
No.
services come and go. You know, we had, like you said, Hitbox. We had, was it D Live?
D Live. You had, what was that other one? It started with an A. Oh, shit.
I forget what it's called, but we streaming services, they come and go. All right. Mixer, Hitbox is now Smashcast, apparently. So there's that. So I don't even know what that is anymore. I've never heard of that in my life.
Who knew? The point is that it's like, look, losing Mixer. The bigger story here, okay, is like the ripple effect from this. This is a huge, I think, move on Microsoft's end because, of course, Mixer was Microsoft's baby. It was integrated with all of Xbox. That's what they used to stream off of and everything there. I think the downfall to Mixer is that they just didn't know what direction they wanted to go in. I think they felt like, hey, if you build it, they will come. And that wasn't the case because they got Ninja and they got Shroud. They literally got, at the time, the #1 streamers on Twitch. They both moved over and both had miserable numbers compared to what they had on Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, not just to say that to Microsoft. I mean, from Microsoft's point, you know, they gave them 20, 30. I think it was like Shroud got 10 million.
Yeah, I read
Ninja
Shroud got
20 million.
I read that Shroud got 10, Ninja got 30.
Yeah.
And it was paid out to them. So congratulations on them. Like
they finessed the crap out of Mixer.
You are the winners here. Okay.
And they get to go back to Twitch not even a year after they signed with Mixer.
Yeah. So I mean, congratulations on that front. Amazing job. And so yeah, now a lot of the partners are free agents. I think Facebook Gaming was rumored to offer some of them like double the contracts that they had to move over. So some of them I think took it. You know, Facebook has to be on like I would almost rather go to Mixer before Facebook, obviously.
Oh, agreed.
I don't even know where Facebook Gaming is, to be honest. And I mean, I get on Facebook from time to time. I couldn't tell you where Facebook Gaming is at. Is it its own website? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I think if I just like Google Facebook Gaming and see what pops up, maybe it'll take me there. And it goes to facebook.com. And
so I have no idea. I'm out of ideas on that front.
But can you imagine the Ninja return to Twitch stream once that news comes out? If it comes out that he's coming back to Twitch, can you imagine the viewership numbers off that? It's gonna be insane. I can't even put a number to it. Just maybe in the millions. Maybe not millions, but like hundreds of thousands at the very least.
I mean, they're gonna make millions. It's gonna be like when Dr. Disrespect came back from his suspension.
Oh my god!
Remember when he got cheated on his wife and everything, and he came back and like just the sheer amount of donations that he made in that one day, and that is where they don't care, right? This is why. It's easy for them to say, oh, it's not about the money. Well, yeah, because wherever you're going to go, you're going to get fat stacks, and then the donations alone are going to do work for you.
I think about the money.
I think you see both of them back on Twitch. I don't see any platform, because if the rumors are true and Facebook offered them double, so Shroud 20 million, Ninja 60 million, well, if they're not accepting that, I don't think any other platform is going to be able to offer them more.
maybe YouTube, and that would be like a big if they really want to throw away that investment.
I just, I mean,
I don't see it.
I don't.
You're right. I don't see it either.
And again, it's because I feel like they've done the experiment, right? They can say, hey, we did our experiment away from Twitch. It worked out financially.
Yep.
But not like viewership wise. Like I think Ninja kind of took a back seat where, man, I remember everywhere you looked, Ninja was everywhere. New Year's Eve, Red Bull cans, everywhere you looked, everyone was talking about Ninja. Like even like we work in sports radio. Even I had guys who never knew what a video game was asking me about Ninja.
Yeah.
And then when he went to Mixer, that kind of went away. Shroud, I felt like was peak on Twitch, and then before he really took it to the next level, went to Mixer, and again, went away. So I think they just realized like, hey, Twitch offers us so much more than just viewership numbers, sponsorships, access to things like Valorant, right?
Yep.
Mixer did not get access to the Valorant beta as soon as Twitch did. So I think it doesn't make sense, right? Like if you're going to still make bank, you're still going to have ridiculous viewership numbers on Twitch. It doesn't make sense. Like unless you just have something personally wrong with the platform, like just a beef with them or something like that, it doesn't make sense.
No, and the whole move just, I mean, you could tell from like even looking at it from way off, it's like, oh, they're making the money. That's all it is. It's not like a creative move. It's not anything about, it's just Mixer said, hey, we'll give you a cool 20 million to come over. And Twitch is like, yeah, we're not going to give you 20, but good luck. Have fun.
Yeah.
Bye. And then they took over. I mean, do you remember the month that Ninja left? Twitch took over Ninja's account and started not advertising, but like featuring other streamers on his own stream. And I was like, that's all right.
Yeah, that quickly stopped when the porn ended up being on it. But
that's right.
Oh, that happens. Hey, you know what? An accidental porn video happens to the best of us, really. Do you think that this was just coincidence timing between all the racist remarks and all the rumors flying? Because I would like to think that this was more than just a couple-hour discussion of, oh, yeah, we'll shut down and move it to Facebook. I would like to think this was all in the works for a while, but at the same time, like is Facebook right now thinking, like, what the shit, Microsoft? We agreed for this, and on the day that this is being announced, you drop this on us?
I feel like it wasn't. I feel it's coincidental because from the reports that I saw, it wasn't from Microsoft. It was from somebody leaking it through to the social media and all that. I feel like it was definitely just a coincidence at that point. And then like Microsoft's like, hey, we'll also just shut down Mixer, which is just, like you guys are just cashing in on like a free like virtue signal right there. Have fun with that.
Yeah, and apparently like no one on Mixer knew. Like even like some of the top people of like the streamers had no idea it was switching over and things like that. And
that must have been a purely like executive view because Phil Spencer had like a prepared statement ready to go. He was like, this is why we're shutting down. It was a good time. We're going to Facebook. Pretty much his reasoning for starting Mixer and closing it in the first place was that they wanted to look for a partnership in the, for whatever reason. And Facebook Gaming was that partnership. So he found what he was looking for, ? I mean, there's still a lot of answers that we don't really have yet, but I think it's a coincidence, but I think somebody was like, you know what? Fuck it. Just throw out this like little racist culture inside of Mixer and just, pee on a grave right now.
Yeah, it's bright side is we have one less streaming service we got to worry about. Right? We're getting back to that utopia where everything can just be on one. Although I do prefer YouTube. The video player on YouTube to me is actually better than Twitch. YouTube itself sucks.
It does.
Like finding it on YouTube is the absolute worst. But the actual video player and features, like rewind and all that, great.
Twitch could learn something from that, honestly.
Yeah. But no one's perfect. No one's perfect. But either way, RIP Mixer, we hardly knew you. Literally, I barely knew you.
Do we play the bagpipes, or do we just say like salute and bounce off and
just
piss off, mixer?
give a good stay hard mixer, and we'll see you on the other side because, I guess I won't see you at Facebook Gaming, though.
No, hell no.
I could promise you that. It will be nice to watch Shroud again. Though I cannot watch Shroud until he cuts his hair.
That's right.
I don't know what, and I don't. I mean, I can't say much. I got this like little afro thing going on. I got a ball of poof, but yeah, not a good.
He looks bad.
Not a good look, Shroud.
No.
Take it from an overweight white guy with a mustache. Not a good look. Not a good look.
It's awful, man.
All right, let's get into some e-news. Whoa, is that my mic stand? All right, with CSGO. Now, this could have been in Yikes of the Week, but we didn't do Yikes of the Week just because it's not Monday. But Jampy sued. Okay, so this backstory here for those who don't know: Jampy perma-banned for Counter-Strike for cheating back when he was 14 years old. So now he's banned for life and competing in Valve events. Kind of bullshit. So he said, well, this is bullshit. I'm going to sue you, Valve. So everything was great until it came out that he sued the wrong Valve.
Which Valve did he end up suing?
He ended up suing like a subsidiary in Denmark. Like, I think they're still softly associated, but they don't do what he sued for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just distribute. They don't do any of the decision making. So there's that.
That's pretty bad.
That's rough.
Maybe, if he had any doubt he was 18 years old, well, there you
maybe
go.
get new lawyers. That I don't put on him. I put that on the lawyers.
That's a good point.
That's the lawyers bad right there.
What's your thoughts on banning somebody for something they did 4 years ago? Is that too much? He's 14.
Yeah, when he's 14, that's ridiculous.
That's a little too much.
I mean, when you're 14, of course. I mean, I never installed hacks, but I definitely had friends that did because when you're 14,
it's all cool.
That's just what you do.
It's cool. Like, oh, he has hacks on his game. Cool.
But again, you know me. I don't get worked up over anything. I'm the guy who said to listen and let the dust settle about sexual assault. So
there's that.
It's gonna take a lot for me to raise my blood pressure about things like this. I'm like, whatever. Let them play. I also think the iBuyPower guys, right? They match fixed. Punish them, right? Get their punishment in, but let them play. Jampy, he wasn't even a pro when he cheated. It's just a VAC ban on his account from when he was 14. Like, a bit ridiculous.
What's the goal of this ban? Just to get him out of like professional CS:GO? Or,
yeah, I mean that's what it's just. He can't play in official Valve sponsored events, which are like the majors and everything that's important. So
it's a weird move on their part. I mean, they don't want the best players to play. That's fine.
It's also weird that Valve gives a shit about what he did when he was 14. Like, come on.
It's super weird. Like, what, are you gonna look over his internet history too when he was 14?
Yeah, like what? It's just dumb. It's dumb. Monte Cristo, Monty, also better known as, is named the commissioner of Flashpoint and vice president of brand. I don't know what that means for B-Site. So I guess congratulations on that.
I mean, is that a vertical move for him, or I guess a horizontal move from Overwatch to CS:GO? I guess he's commissioner. So
commissioner is a pretty big deal. Now you're commissioner of a league that didn't get any of the teams you wanted, and I could make fun of him for that, but I won't. This is his moment, Kevin. All right, let's not make fun. All right, congratulations to Monty.
I remember Monty from the old League of Legends day. He was kind of an ass then. So
that hasn't changed. No, that hasn't changed at all. But I won't rain on his parade. I'll let him have this one. You're a commissioner.
I will say this. He's planning on expanding Flashpoint to Valorant and Hearthstone and some other plans in the works. So professional Valorant league in the works maybe for Flashpoint.
Still a dumb name. I still don't like Flashpoint, and it makes even less sense if they're going into other games. Whatever. Also, speaking of raining on parade.
Oh boy.
So about ESL Cologne being the first LAN event, I don't think that's going to happen because the European Union is thinking about shutting down travel from US, Russia, and Brazil because those three countries have sucked at keeping Corona at bay. Also,
Yep.
coincidentally, like every other country that plays CS. So,
You hate to see it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we're gonna see another LAN event for at least through the end of 2020. I don't think
I'm thinking like summer of next year. Like,
yeah,
I think
agreed.
it's
It's
going to
just
be a
not happening.
long time. I think it's going to be a very, very boring time for esports as far as landing events is
Thank
concerned.
God. If you thought online like cheating accusations are bad now, wait till we get through
Yeah.
December. That'll be like
Oh.
cascade of accusations.
That reminds me, one thing I didn't bring up during the MIBR talk about the coach stream sniping. Yeah. No shit. Like, all these guys are playing online. You don't think that coach, you don't think the players are stream sniping? 100 guarantee % that every single team has someone with something on that they probably shouldn't.
It's like stealing signs in baseball. Like we
I
know
mean,
everybody's doing
Yeah,
it.
everyone's doing it. It's just how you doing it and who gets caught. Come on. You're playing online. Of course someone's doing something they probably shouldn't be.
Also, you should probably get a new coach if he's stream sniping in front of somebody's cam.
Yeah,
saying.
that's kind of
not
your
a-
bad thing.
That's not a big brain move right there, boy.
No, not a big brain move. In Valorant news, we actually talked about this on the show a lot, so I will take credit for this one. But Mixwell officially signs with G2. He is no longer a Counter-Strike pro. He is switching over to Valorant. Me personally, very happy. I felt like he got the shaft a lot on Counter-Strike. Was he like the greatest of all time? No. Did he get the short end of the stick a lot? Yes. So happy to see him make that jump over. Hopefully it works out better for him. Another Counter-Strike player switching over, Dazed, officially announced that he is building a team and playing Valorant more seriously. I'll believe it when I see it. This is also the same guy who spent years trying to get back into the CS scene after he was banned for match fixing with iBuyPower. Finally was able to play again and lasted like 2 weeks before quitting.
He wasn't that good, honestly. Like, he was
So
pretty bad.
I'll believe it when I see it. So we'll see. We'll see. Valorant update hit, I believe, today. Rank is back, so if you missed it, you can play it. They've updated a few things as far as the aim punching goes. I have not had a chance to play it since the update, but man, do I hope it's better because aim punching was a bitch in Valorant.
Yeah, it was a little rough. Also, they added, I think, the vote to surrender now after 8 rounds. You can vote to surrender, so you're
Okay.
good for that.
That would have come in
And,
handy for you during the scrimmage.
I always love the the quick 8-0 surrender. I do it in League of Legends with the 15-minute surrender, and I'll do it in CS:GO. I do it in
man.
CS:GO where I just quit out. I'm all set for.
We're too old to be playing those 8-0s. Again, a young Tim, I finish every game no matter what. Never surrender. Anything is possible. A 30-year-old Tim with a kid, yeah, I need to move this along, boys. Gotta
8-0,
move it along.
If it's 8-0, we're kicking. We're going.
Yeah,
Bye.
we are
surrendering.
gone. So there's that. And in other news, you have Team Hoaxer signed Snipedown for their Halo Infinite roster. So again, one of the first signings for Halo Infinite. That's exciting. Also kind of chuckled because Snipedown kind of turned his back on Halo for a hot minute because he was going to become an Apex pro. Not saying he was bad at Apex. I'm just saying that game didn't pan out the way everyone
Yeah.
thought.
I really hope Halo makes a big comeback into esports,
Man.
like in a big way. I really do.
I
miss it.
would love nothing more. I talk about it so much on the show that I have a soft spot just for Halo all the time. So I would love for it to come back. That being said, impossible to get anyone from Halo on the show though. Impossible.
Yeah, they're weirdly like just not available.
No,
or just
like
don't
they
respond.
really do not want to talk to you. Like even old Halo pros that are doing nothing, like you DM them, nothing. You get nothing back. And you're like, what are you guys doing? You realize that like no one pays attention to your game right now because no one knows who you are. Maybe going on the #1 esports podcast can help. I'm just saying, I don't know. But
Good point.
I
Good
would
point.
love nothing more than to help Halo be popular again.
I mean, I would love to see it. I remember we saw, I think, at DreamHack Dallas last year
Yeah.
at a Halo tournament. That was like the
watched it.
second most entertaining thing.
Yep, I
Besides
watched
CS:GO.
it. It was great. And last but not least, Fnatic is teaming up with Gucci.
Oh.
Apparently, we will see Fnatic and Gucci apparel here soon enough. So if you
Oh.
ever wanted, so if you thought the Hello Kitty Fnatic hoodies were overpriced,
Wait to
just
see these Gucci
wait.
ones.
Just wait till you see the Gucci hoodies because that shit is gonna be like $400. So if,
I want to see the Gucci gaming chairs coming out for Fnatic now with the leather and the big old Gucci sign in the back of the seat.
I'm not
That'd be
above spending money on weird, stupid, expensive stuff. This almost though kind of reminds me of like the like when you see like a Dallas Cowboys t-shirt and then it has like Spider-Man on it and you're like, why? I would never want that.
No.
If I'm buying something from Gucci, it's not gonna have like a esports team on it or any
No, I just-
professional team for that matter.
No, just keep it simple, keep it classy. Don't
And-
ruin it.
And
with
maybe
the
that's what they
esport
do. Maybe
logo.
it looks classy and it doesn't look as bad. But in my head, it looks dumb. But I'm not a Gucci designer, so don't take my word for it, Kevin.
No, I mean, if you were a Gucci designer, we'd all wear like hockey sweaters
That's
designed in
it'd be
in-
much
in
different.
pure Gucci leather.
It would be much different. Flip flops and basketball shorts. That's the Gucci line for me.
That's right.
All right.
Fine.
Well, that will do it. Kevin, thank you for joining. Appreciate the
Thank-
backup as always.
No, thank you for inviting me on the show. Appreciate you as always.
Keep your phone nearby because who knows if Anuj comes back for Sunday, but I am going to make him. We got some catching up to do.
That's right.
So yeah, that will be on Sunday night. We'll record. So if you're down, follow on Twitch. Speaking of Cold Tea, thank you for the follow. Checkpoint House, thank you for the host. I don't know how to say that guy. Obier, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Colty. Thank you. I like your name. That's it. That's it. We are done. We will be back Sunday night for Monday's show live on Twitch. Not Mixer though. Not
No.
live on Mixer. So if you're on Mixer, don't go. Don't go. And we'll see what's up. Who knows? Who gets busted for sexual assault between now and then? You know, I don't throw a dart. That's how this is working right now. So that's it. For Kevin, I'm Tim. We'll see ya.